Riot Games is on the business end of a big hack this week. While user data seems to be untouched, we'll talk about some very important data that did leak out, and what Riot Games thinks about negotiating with hackers.
And Xbox and Bethesda had their Developer Direct, talking about a bunch of games coming out, when to expect them, and what they got cooking. We're going to talk about all this and much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. Back. We are the best weekly video game news show out there. We're coming to you every single Monday, bringing you all the major happenings in the video game industry. My name is Erock the Red. I am joined every week by Mr. Full Clip. What's the haps, dude?
Yo, what's up? Welcome back. I'm all right. You hanging in there?
I'm doing all right. Like we were just right before this, you brought up the Buffalo Bills. Kind of put me in a bad mood. You didn't know. Sure. I'm not gonna be mad at you, but now I gotta get over it. I gotta talk about some other stuff to get out of this funk.
Gotcha. Sorry, I don't feel that way. Strangely about the Bengals.
Yeah, I know you don't. But whatever. It is what it is. But I'm good. It's almost the weekend. I'm excited to play a bunch of games and do a bunch of not work stuff.
That's what it's all about.
You been playing anything exciting?
Yeah. I went back to the comfortable arms of Red Dead Online this week. My first time on PC. I had checked Rockstar Social Club and I had racked up over 19 days worth of playtime on Red Dead Online for PS4.
Really?
And yeah, I had to quit it. Not because I was addicted to it, but because there were too many issues with playing the game on PlayStation 4 a year or so ago. I went 2 months logging in, checking are any animals gonna spawn? Can I play the game the way it's supposed to be played? But no. It all works on PC. I had a lot of fun. Got to play with a friend.
I've never played Red Dead Online. So what are you doing? You just got to do missions or anything? Is it PvP?
Yeah, well, you said you never played GTA 5 or GTA Online either.
Right, no.
I mean, that's the game that it would be closest to, so it's hard to describe one without the other. But it's like a more faithful to the time period version of that, where you're running around, you got a big open world. It's a lot like GTA, picking up little missions here or there for cash. It's just that the economy is more realistic to the late 1800s. And
gotcha.
You have horses, but you don't have rocket horses and missiles and things like that just yet. You do have dynamite arrows. That's about as crazy as it gets, but it's a fun time, especially if you can get a group of friends on there. You can feel like you're in the Old West.
That's pretty cool. So it's just you're living in this world and you're doing stuff in the world, doing bounties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right.
You can choose there's an honor system. Choose to be a good guy, bad guy, do bounties, or do things that hurt people.
That's cool. I always wanted to check it out. I played Red Dead, the first one. I never played the online version, or I never played Red Dead 2, which everybody still says, dude, you gotta play it. It's the best game.
Yeah.
So I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. What did I get up to this week? Still the old faithfuls, Marvel Snap. I played a lot of Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah, I saw a new video.
Yeah, I had to do it overnight for work, so I was away from home, and I just had my phone with me, so. I played a lot. Of Marvel Snap while I was gone. I played some Fortnite, and then some games. I know you got one of them. We're not going to talk about it, but we got some review copies for games coming up next week. SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake, and I've been playing Fashion Police Squad. Now both of those have embargo, so we won't shed any details on there. But I've been playing a bunch of that. So. It's been a busy week as far as playing games. Another game I played that I'm really excited to talk about, we'll talk about in our new releases. So should we get on with it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about some new releases from last week. All right, first up, Forspoken came out January 24th on PS5 and PC. This is an action role-playing game. with parkour and magic. What more could you possibly ask for, right? It should be an amazing game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not. Now, I played the demo. Did we talk about that? I don't know if we did
Yeah.
talk about it. We did?
Yeah, you did a video of that as well. Playing the
Yes,
demo.
yes, I did. But I don't know if we mentioned it on the show. So, but I'm in line with the review. So right now it's at 67 on Metacritic. Basically, a quick gist of the story. This woman, Frey, gets transported from New York City to this fantastic, magical world, and she's got to figure out a way home and beat evil things at the same time. And I played the demo, and it starts you, not at the beginning, it starts you after you've got some powers and you're a little bit powered up. And for me, the fighting system, it just was not, it just wasn't good overall. Like the mechanics of it were weird. Nothing seemed like it had any weight. Like you would punch something, and I was like, did I hit it? Like it was. So I was really hoping for a day one patch on this demo. But after I read a whole bunch of reviews, it turns out that no, there was no day one patch. It didn't really add up because a lot of the reviews are saying the same thing. The parkour is fun. Traversing through the world is fun. The world itself kind of sucks. It's just there's not much of anything. So yeah, it was disappointing because this has been, I've been looking forward to it for a long time.
Yeah,
And,
the demo was probably 2 months ago or so. Is there any indication that they took anything from the demo or player feedback?
Now I haven't played the game, but just based on what I've read, no, unfortunately, no, not really. So it is kind of a bummer. I'm still hoping that maybe they'll take review feedback from the game and put it out there. Now it's not a bad game. It's not a broken game. There's parts that do shine. Unfortunately, the parts that make up the whole of the game is the story and the fighting mechanic are where it lacks the most, is from my understanding. So, if you like open world games, if you like magic games or parkour type traversal, maybe wait for a sale. It's not abysmal, but unfortunately, it's not what everybody was hoping for. So, did you have any? Were you excited about it at all? Leading up to it?
I mean, not really. Once I heard about the demo, I kind of remember the gist of what you were saying back then.
Yeah.
I didn't know if much would be changed anyway. But it just seems like a lot of other games that I've seen previewed.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It does seem a lot like, and it doesn't do anything really amazing to separate it from some of those other ones. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully they could turn it around. Okay, now this is the game that I played a whole bunch of it just today, really. So it was just announced, this game called Hi-Fi Rush. It was shadow dropped at the Xbox Bethesda Direct that they just had. So I saw what it was. It's a rhythm game. It's a action platformer, and it's like this animated 2D style, like cutscenes. And I was like, dude, I gotta play this. So I rushed home, played it, and I love it. So it's out on PC, Xbox One, Xbox X and S, instantly available on Gamepass. It's from Tango Gameworks. They're the guys that did The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a huge departure. I mean, it's a fun animated like rhythm platformer, but and then it's published by Bethesda. So right away I started playing it, and I'm just smiling just because the writing is really, really clever. The characters are fun. The world is interesting. It's a really cool dynamic. And then on top of that, like you're attacking these enemies with the beat, and you get these special moves. And so I get to the first boss, and it's 9 Inch Nails is like the song that you're fighting him to, and I'm like, this game is awesome. It's a really, really great game. I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, I think it's maybe like $30 to buy it on PC. if you or Xbox if you don't have Game Pass. But yeah, definitely if you ever do you still have Game Pass?
Yeah.
Or you do? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm to the point where I'll turn it on and off if something new, cool,
Yes.
interesting
Okay.
comes.
There you go. Yeah, check it out. I'd love to hear your take on
Yeah.
it. Now I know it's not your cup of tea. These rhythm. Now I see a rhythm game, I'm all into it. I'm like probably the game I want most to come back is like a Rock Band game or a Guitar
Okay.
Hero. Love
Yeah, I was
those
going to ask
games.
if you're big on those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, like when Metal Hellsinger, this is very similar to Metal Hellsinger, except it's a little bit easier because it doesn't penalize you for not going with the beat, but you get a higher score if you go with the beat. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, this looks like it has a lot of personality. It sort of reminds me of something like Sunset Overdrive that has a lot of energy, a lot of color to it. And this seems like it kind of came out of nowhere. Did you know about this before the announcement?
No, and it did come out of nowhere. This is the first time it was announced, and it was the first time like that it's been shown, and then it was released the same day. So it was very interesting how they did that. So yeah, really really cool that they did it. It was a nice little treat for the fans that were hoping for something more at this direct. Didn't really get much more, but yeah. I'm very pleasantly surprised with it. I'm excited to play more of it. Next up, it's finally happened. Goldeneye 007 came out for Nintendo Switch and Xbox through Game Pass. So it's available on Nintendo Switch if you have the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass. And it's available through Game Pass on Xbox. Now, they're two different games. So the Nintendo Switch one, it's an original port, but it has online multiplayer. And the Game Pass one is a recreated and enhanced game. It's got 4K, but it doesn't have online multiplayer. It only has local multiplayer. So there you go. Those are the two choices you have. But yeah, are you excited to get back in there, smash some fools, and Goldeneye?
I don't know, because my only choice would really be the Switch version, and I saw the preview of it. It still looks like a Nintendo 64 game.
It looks rough, dude. Everybody I talked to is super excited. I'm like, this game looks like shit. Like you can't go home again. I know it's fun and there's like nostalgia and everything, but like, I really wish that the Game Pass one had that online multiplayer as well, because it's a little bit upgraded. Hopefully it's easier to look at, but yeah, I was the same way. I watched the trailer for the Switch one and I'm like, whoa, dude, I don't know. Playing it on like a giant, television or whatever, if you're like, it's gonna terrify my son.
I mean, I guess unless you do like local split screen like that, then your screen might look appropriately sized.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you play it on a CRT television. That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
I'll check out the Game Pass one just because it's available on Game Pass, just to see how it looks, see how it plays, see how it holds up. But it's hard, man. Like, I get it. Like, at the time, there were very few first-person shooters, especially ones as fun as this.
Yeah,
but
this one really defined the genre of first-person shooters.
Absolutely, yeah. But they've come a long way, and is it possible to go back there? Maybe for a couple hours, you have some fun with your friends, reliving the Goldeneye era. Do you see what I did there? But yeah, I don't know if it's something that you're gonna keep going back to.
Yeah.
All right, and last up, Dead Space remake came out January 27th for PS5, Xbox XS, and PC. Now, what I'm hearing about this one, it is a benchmark for remakes going forward. It is an amazing, amazing game. So this is basically, it's the original Dead Space, but remade for next gen and PC. It's got improved visuals, audio, story, characters, gameplay mechanics. Everything has been revamped, redone to make it better. I've never heard of that in a game before, in a remake where they go back and they've changed, like, just they've changed cutscenes to make it look a little better. Like they've changed the way that a mechanic works when it tells you to look and to go in a certain direction, and it changes the way that the camera angle goes. Like these are all things that like they didn't need to change. They just could have upgraded the visuals and maybe adjusted the controls, but like they did, and they made like an amazing game. So yeah, I'm excited for this. Now I wasn't planning on getting it because it's very spooky. Did you play Dead Space, the first one, the original?
No, I've never played any of them.
Oh man, it's good. I played the first one. I never finished it. I played a couple hours and then I tapped out because like I'm a big old baby. But it's a sci-fi horror game where there's like monsters and space zombies, and you get all these different weapons. It's a really, really cool title, but it's so scary. And now with these revamped visuals, I'm hearing it's scarier than ever. So
yeah, that's good to hear that people think of this as a benchmark going forward, because that's people want it one of two ways. You want either a very, very faithful recreation where it is maybe just a graphical widescreen higher resolution kind of upgrade, and then other people are like, well, we live in a much more advanced age of gaming, and there's so much about this is going to feel clunky.
yes.
And we always get a mix of both. So
Yeah.
this sounds, I hope it is the way forward.
Yeah, exactly. Like they didn't, they just, everything that maybe people thought was an issue with the original, they're like, we could address that. We could fix it. So love that they did that. And I'm hyped to check it out. Maybe I'll hang out. Maybe for E-Rocktober, we'll see some sales. Because dude, I'm too scared of this stuff. All right. Well, that is it for our new releases for last week. It's nice to see they're starting to flow now. We're getting into it. It's not that like the end of the year, beginning of the year nonsense where nothing was coming out. We're getting a bunch of good stuff. So I love seeing it. All right. Let's switch gears and let's talk about some news of the week. All right, first up, we got to talk about the Xbox Bethesda Developer Direct. Now, Xbox was getting a lot of shit for not really putting out any information, any new stuff. In fact, I was just reading an article recently that they're really suffering from not having any new games. They're seeing the player base really drop off from Xbox and Gamepass. So this came at the perfect time, especially, people are just clamoring for information about some of these Bethesda titles. Now, they announced going in which titles they were going to talk about and not to, to curb expectations. And that's exactly what they did. They really only talked about a handful of things. Now, the ones they did talk about, Redfall, they showed a gameplay showcase, which looked amazing. And a release date, May 2nd, we'll be getting Redfall. Now, this is a co-op action vampire game where you can play it by yourself, or you can play with up to 3 other people, where you go through and you gotta fight vampires. Now, it's a story game, so it's not like a PvP game or PvPVPVPVEPVEVP game. So, which is cool, It's like you just want to get together with your bros and hoes and play a vampire story. Each character has different powers and stuff like that. It looks awesome. The level design looks beautiful. The characters look great.
Really does. Looks like they're onto something here.
Yeah. Is this on your radar?
It is. I mean, but you put any new Xbox, new Bethesda game, probably going to be on Game Pass, we'll see. And it's on my radar.
Yeah, for this one, I think it's going to be determined on, like, who I could play with. Because now, granted, you can't play it solo, but it really looks like it's meant to be played with a group, So, yeah, that's going to be entirely dependent on, like, who wants to go fight vamps with me. Next thing they talked about, Minecraft Legends. So we got a release date for that, April 18th. And then they showed a bunch of details about this game. So Minecraft Legends, it's going to have a single player adventure game, But what really got me like kind of excited, like I don't play this at all, never played Minecraft, but this PvP mode looks really cool. Are you excited about this
Yes.
being a Minecraft guy?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's different from the past Minecraft like spin-offs because sometimes it feels like they're just cashing in on Minecraft.
Hmm.
Microsoft paid a lot of money for it and they
Yeah.
expect a return. So they're skinning everything in Minecraft and calling it a new game. Where this feels like something substantial that I've not seen anything quite like it before.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's got like it's basically you know, your group versus another group, and there are these huge battles where like you have to. Now I don't know how long they go, like, but it seemed pretty intense. Like the building,
Yeah.
like these people are building entire fortresses. So like you could build, you could go get resources, you could go scout the enemy team. It seemed like a really cool idea. I
Yeah.
don't know how they pull it off, how it's going to work, but I like the idea. And then next up, Forza Motorsport. We got a look at that, dude. It looks insane. Like it looks like a video
Yeah.
of a real race.
Real life.
Yeah, you can't discern video game from the real life in this. It looks crazy. It's talking about having 500 cars at launch, and a bunch of customizable things, bunch of locations. Now I'm not a huge like race guy, but damn, dude, this looked crazy.
Yeah. Now I haven't really played Forza as much as some of the other racing games. It's is it sort of on the simulation side?
Yeah, so I don't know where the differential is. Like, so the last one was like Forza Horizon, right?
Yeah,
Um,
Horizon 5.
yeah, and then that was so I think yeah that was a little bit more arcadey, whereas maybe this one is more like mm, I don't know. But they're
Yeah.
talking about having like you know they got all the real cars and all these different like race settings and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what sets it apart from the other ones. Maybe just developer.
Hmm.
I don't know. But either way, it looks great. No release date for that one. 2023, they're saying. So yeah, we'll see. And then last up, they just talked about Elder Scrolls Online, and just they mentioned they're having a new class, the Arcanist, and then so to celebrate this, that you could go play any of the previous chapters or DLC for free right now, as long as you have the base Elder Scrolls Online game. Um, so yeah, they didn't talk about much, and then you know we did talk about already. They right at the end they talked about the Hi-Fi Rush game. There's a little bonus for everybody.
Cherry on top.
Exactly. But yeah, anything that you were hoping for or excited for from this event?
You know, I kind of wondered if they were going to talk about Starfield more, so Bethesda's other big one. But we
Yeah,
didn't really see anything.
nothing. They did mention a couple weeks ago that they're saying that at some point Starfield's going to have its own direct. So hopefully that's not too far into the future. Because yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm eagerly anticipating hearing more about. All right, so let's keep talking Xbox. So it's been a long time. It's been maybe like a couple months since we've gotten a an official Game Pass update. Now they were doing it twice a month, and then they just stopped. And all the Game Pass subscribers were really um, angry that you know we're not getting these updates anymore. There's been a slow trickle of games onto the subscription service, but we finally got back to an official update from Xbox. So some games coming out. Well, so first of all, let's talk about the games that did come out already in January. Stranded Deep, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Monster Hunter Rise were already released. And then Hi-Fi Rush, we talked about that. Goldeneye, talked about that. Uh, RoboQuest, that's a game preview that's coming out January 30th to console. Age of Empires 2, that is coming out to console and cloud on January 31st. Inculinati. That's a hard one to say.
Yes.
That comes out January 31st, console and PC. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R comes out January 31st, cloud, console, and PC. So those are the ones. That's the rest of January. And then they did announce a few titles coming into February. And they are Darkest Dungeon is coming back to the system. Cloud, console, and PC February 2nd. Grid Legends is coming to cloud February 2nd. And then Hot Wheels Unleashed Game of the Year Edition, cloud, console, and PC February 7th. So some good games. We're back to getting some quality titles coming at the Game Pass. You excited for any of these?
Oh yeah. Well, Stranded Deep came out kind of silently at the beginning of this month, and I played that quite a bit. Need to take some time to get back in there. Looking forward to Hot Wheels Unleashed. I've been meaning to play that since it came out. It looked really good. It reminds me of the GTA Online racing, and I think it'd be a lot of fun if I keep my Game Pass around till February.
Yeah. The Hot Wheels Unleashed. The Hot Wheels Unleashed. I got that. It was a PlayStation Plus title. I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, and I played a bunch of that. But there is definitely a steep difficulty thing at one point, because I was playing it on medium difficulty and I was crushing. I was doing so good. I was like, man, I'm so good at this game. Let me put up to hard. It's so hard. Like, you can't make any mistakes, or else like you get crushed. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's a real fun game. My kid was really enjoying it because he collects like Hot Wheels and stuff. So you see the actual cars that he has in his Hot Wheels collection that you could race on there and upgrade him and that sort of thing. So that was really cool. What else? So this RoboQuest game sounds interesting. You gotta it's like a 2-player co-op, and you gotta upgrade and build and keep fighting these robots. So that sounds really cool. And then that Inculinati is a ink-based strategy game straight from medieval manuscripts, where a rabbit's bum can be deadlier than a dog's sword. That says that in the description of the thing. Now I gotta play it. I gotta see how these deadly rabbit asses are.
Oh yeah. I also feel like I gotta at least try out Hi-Fi Rush since it's on there.
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely do. So yeah, Darkest Dungeon, everybody loves. That was on Game Pass up until maybe a few months ago, and then it was taken off. And I still never got a chance to play that. And then the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You ever play any of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting games or anything?
Not played them. I haven't watched enough of the show to get there yet.
Okay. Yeah, I remember playing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for, I think it was Dreamcast, maybe. And it was like, kind of like those Capcom, like 2D, like sprite-based, like fighting games. It was like that. It was like really weird. I'm like, this is really cool. I love it. It's so strange. But yeah, now it's back, and I could play some more. So cool month for and beginning of February announcement for Game Pass. So all right, let's talk about a big story. Riot Games was hacked. Pretty, I mean, and not just like a little bit. Like, they didn't just get like email addresses. So let me start off by reading the part of the hackers' letter. So they sent a email to Riot Games. It says, "Dear Riot Games, we have obtained your valuable data, including the precious anti-cheat source code and the entire game code for League of Legends and its tools, as well as Pac-Man, your user mode anti-cheat. We understand the significance of these artifacts and the impact their release to the public would have on your major titles, Valorant and League of Legends. In light of this, we are making a small request for an exchange of $10 million. I love that they call that a small request. You know, just a little request. Give us $10 million.
If you're Riot Games, that's not that. That's a drop in the bucket.
It's true. But I mean, I guess like they have to weigh how. I mean, obviously they're not gonna. No one ever pays these hackers. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
first. I've never heard of anybody paying these hackers.
Yeah, for the same exact reasons, the famous line, we do not negotiate with terrorists, because you would only tell the future terrorists or the future hackers, whichever the case, that you're willing to pay, and they just found a new source of income.
Exactly. So, but some other pieces. So they sent evidence as 2 large PDFs that show bits of the source code and the files that they were able to get. And they said that if they're paid, they promise to scrub the code from their servers and provide insight into how the breach occurred and offer advice on preventing future breaches. So they then sent a link to a Telegram chat, and so you could go and speak to them regarding it. So it's been pretty interesting. So they also said, we do not wish to harm your reputation or cause public disturbance. Our sole motivation is financial gain. Failure to do so will result in the hack being made public and the extent of the breach being known to more individuals. So after this happened, when Riot did announce it, they said, they told a little bit of what happened, basically just telling us that they didn't get any user data or anything like that, or at least that they haven't said that they did. So, that's hopefully nothing that we need to worry about as far as our user data getting out there. But, I mean, this is a big deal for Riot, because right now they said you got 12 hours or we're going to auction it off. And 12 hours passed, and I did read that someone found it on an auction site. So they were selling the League of Legends source code and Pac-Man for a minimum of $1 million. But they would be willing to sell Pac-Man by itself for $500,000.
Yeah. Now, if that gets into the wrong hands, which it's not going to go into the right hands, so it's an auction, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That means that somebody could reverse engineer the game or reverse engineer the cheat client to make new cheats, to make potentially very, very dangerous things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's the biggest thing that they have to worry about now is people creating these cheats that will harm the playability of their major titles, Valorant, League of Legends, even as far as So it's crazy. It's pretty crazy that this happened. It's crazy what they're doing with it. Yeah. I thought it was funny that they also said in the letter, it says, we also want to remind you that it would be a shame to see your company publicly exposed, especially when you take great pride in your security measures. It is alarming to know that you can be hacked within a matter of hours by an amateur level hack. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same story we keep covering, and we're going to cover it again and again. Just, a new victim, a new hacker each time.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they get caught and then get offered, a job with the United States government. It's how those things usually play out, right? According to the movies they do anyways. I don't know if that's a real thing. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Riot Games with this leak, with this hack. And, you got $1 million. Should we go buy it?
Well, we can try to crowdfund it.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah. That's a great idea. I don't know what we would do with it after that point, but it would be pretty cool to just put in our Twitter bio. We own this League of Legends thing. All right, let's move on to happier news. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, Season 2, Month 2. So many twos. Are you excited? Is this going to bring you back to the warfare?
Yeah. So, not to Warzone. I haven't played Warzone 2.0 at all, but Modern Warfare 2, I'm all in on. The only problem is, and it's not really a problem because I complain about the same thing, a lot of battle passes demand too much of your time.
Mm-hmm.
This one didn't, so it actually allowed me to have a month right now where I'm already maxed out, I'm already the highest level I can be, and I've been able to focus my time on other games. But I fully intend, as soon as this comes back, to be on there playing season 2.
Okay, now what are you excited about with this? It seemed underwhelming for me with this announcement. So it's a brand new season. Like, what are you hoping for? What are you excited to get back to?
I mean, I just expect more of the same thing that we've been having for throughout the last few games. So a couple of maps, you probably get one at the front, one in the middle is what I was expecting. Some new guns, new operators, and things like that. I don't really go in
Gotcha.
for the skins and packs and things like that,
Okay.
but I'm sure there's going to be a ton of that too.
So you're excited for a new battle pass and all that stuff. Now,
Yeah, new.
I know you're a big fan of hardcore mode, which is
Mhm.
coming with season 2. So that's pretty cool. I know you've been looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is a nice surprise. I mean, they had tier 1 in the game, which came a little bit after launch, I think, but it's not the same. That was like realism mode mixed with hardcore mode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just more of a hardcore mode
You're a
straight
hardcore
out.
mofo.
Hard code.
That's what I always talk about when I describe you to people. This guy, he's
Yeah.
real hardcore. And then they're bringing ranked as a thing. I don't know what that's going to be. And then as far as Warzone, they're bringing back the old Gulag. It really just seems like what they're doing in Warzone is that they're kind of returning it to what it was for Warzone 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Gulag is back. They're changing the way a bunch of stuff are, the cache, loadouts, and that sort of thing. So, and I think a week ago, I did read an article talking about how there's been a much faster than expected player drop off for Warzone 2. So I'm assuming that they're trying to get some of those people back in there. And everything I've read is that the map is too big. It takes way too long to get into like a firefight, and so yeah. Hopefully this could get some interest back in the game. Like, I haven't played. I think we talked about it last week. I haven't played Modern Warfare in a while, man. So I'll get back there and I'll check it out too, see what's new, check out the new maps. That's what I really want. I just want some new maps. I really like new maps, and they really just offered like old, like we just got Shipment and what was the other one?
Shoot house, maybe?
Warehouse.
One of those.
Yeah. And I'm like, shit, I've done these like a million times. So like, give me something new, something fun. And yeah, I'll be right back in there. That comes February 15th, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a 16,000 gigabyte update file, I'm sure.
Yes. Rest in peace to your hard drive.
Yeah. All right. Next up, did you watch The Last of Us? The
I did
HBO
not.
show? Okay. Are you going to?
At some point, probably, yeah.
Okay. I recommend it. So I watched it. A lot of people watched it. 18 million people have watched episode 1. And then even more watched episode 2 on the premiere night. So not more than 18, but more than that watched the first episode on the Sunday. And what we're seeing with it is very interesting. We're seeing a increase in people playing the game. Which it's funny because like I watched it. I never finished the game. I went back and I played some of the game after watching it. It really does. It's so well done, so close to what the game is that I was like, all right, I got to go back in there and check it out. I want to like, so for me, not having finished the game, I was like, what should I do? The show is so close to the game, but I could play the game and be a part of the show, basically, So I was like, let me go play it and see a little bit, and try to get a little bit further. So yeah. Has it ever been a game that you've been wanting to play? Or is it not your thing?
I just don't know. I've really never gone out of my way to watch somebody play it to see if it is my style of game.
Yeah.
It seems like a little stealth-based, slower combat with zombies.
That's the problem for me. Like, so the story, possibly, arguably the greatest video game story ever told. But yeah, for me, I hate stealth games. I need, like, I'm Leroy Jenkins in it. dude, I need to run in there, guns blazing, and you can't do this because you will just get overwhelmed. You just die over and over and over and over again by these things unless you do things perfectly. And it's difficult. So now there are, you could adjust the difficulty and just be in it for more of the story. I've never done that. I can't do that.
No.
But yeah, so I'm back at it. I'm gonna see how it goes. But I definitely recommend watching it at least. It's a very, very well done show. It's a bummer of a show. It's like really scary, showing all these end of the world things.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So let's talk about some numbers real fast. 238% increase in week-on-week sales for The Last of Us Part 1 in the United Kingdom. And then The Last of Us Remastered on PlayStation 4 has seen a 322% boost in sales. And this was measured in the UK. So crazy numbers. But
yes.
I mean, that's what happens when you have a show that 18 million people are watching, and you could go and play more of it.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, when these are done right, I'd say that happens a lot. We were talking about the same thing with Cyberpunk, and it got me. Watching Edge Runners made me buy it again on PC so I could play through it and just be back in this world.
Yeah.
Because it was so well integrated. And I'm sure the same happened with, like, the Witcher series when it came out. People probably flocked back to the game.
Yeah, my wife is a huge fan of the Witcher series. She's watched it, countless times. And she's like, I want to get The Witcher. And I was like, are you sure you want to, because I don't want it. It should be on my PlayStation, all the time. It's like, it's 6,000 hour game. Yeah. But, yeah, now they got the Steam Deck. Shit, she could have the PlayStation. She could play it to her content.
We can't buy that. Daddy needs his Marvel Snap dollars.
Yeah. Well, that's another. Now, this is separate from anything we've talking about, but I'm really seeing how I can pinch pennies to buy a PlayStation VR 2. I'm really into the idea of doing this. So yeah, that's where my my spending is going. But yeah, definitely, like you said, Witcher. I don't think we saw a jump with Halo when that series came out. Probably the opposite.
Yeah, because when it's bad, it does not make people want to enjoy that world again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when I started watching that Arcane, what I rave about it all the time. I really wanted to play League of Legends, and I don't have a PC. I don't have any way to play it. Now I have a Steam Deck, and I really want to try it, but it's overwhelming because it's one of those games that's been out for how long, and it has a very solid player base.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to be welcoming to someone just starting out, but I don't know.
I tried. I kept seeing all the ads from every YouTuber you've ever seen talking about you can play for free. So I caved. I got it. People weren't very welcoming to people who feed the other team. They call it.
Really? Yeah. So I'm afraid of, dude. Was it all voice chat? Were they yelling at you, or just keyboard?
Just tech. Yeah.
Maybe you can shut that off and just ignore it. Blindly going through willful ignorance, just feeding the other team. Yeah. I thought it was a very interesting thing. But yeah, we'll see, because there's a bunch of other gaming shows coming out. We'll see if it continues to have this trend. Did you watch the new Witcher series on Netflix?
The newest seasons, or there's a different animated series?
No, it was just a 4-episode live action series, Witcher 3 Blood Dragon, something like that.
No. I haven't seen that one yet. It
was fine. I know so many people hated it. They said it was garbage. I thought it was fine. But if you're a fan of The Witcher, it's definitely worth checking out. It's all about, it's a prequel. It's about how it's about the first Witcher, basically, how it was created. And it's only 4 episodes, so it's worth checking out, but it really doesn't do much. But yeah. All right. That is it for the news. You want to add anything else? You got anything else to talk about?
Yeah, there's one big story to talk about, but we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. It's just big exploit with GTA 5 on PC. So console people, don't even worry. It worked out in your favor for once.
Perfect.
But the PC players are to a point right now where they seriously probably shouldn't log on to the game. And it's questionable, even if you're not playing online, you may be connected to Rockstar servers just to have the single player up, and you may still be affected because this exploit is allowing people to run code on your computer essentially and change files. At least that's what Rockstar's security is saying. Although Rockstar is not saying much about this, and that's a big problem. They probably need to pull the plug on the servers at this point because these hackers are able to completely corrupt your file to the point where crazy. It doesn't seem like, Rockstar probably cannot fix this after they've messed it up, and they can affect the amount of premium currency for the better or for the worse that's on your account and things like that.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks for everybody involved with that, man. That's not fun. Hackers are the worst, just ruining everything for everyone. Selfish.
But people
bastards.
In the know, people are saying you should probably just not log in to Rockstar. GTA Online specifically, until Rockstar patches this.
Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully they patch it or even, address it sometime real soon. Cool. Well, good looking out, dude. Hopefully
Gotcha.
Even by the time this airs, it's fixed, and then, I'll put a little disclaimer at the end that says, it's fixed, go back in there. But we'll see. All right, that's it. Another week's worth of quality video game news. There was a bunch more that I was even like, man, we could talk about this. But it was a lot. It was a lot to talk about. So, we'll save all that stuff for another time. My name is E-Rock the Red. This is Full Clip. Check us out on Fruit Lab. We're playing video games over there, posting our clips of all the fun stuff that we're doing. You can also find us on YouTube. I'm at Pop Culture Playground. Full Clip is at GameFAQs, GAMEFAX. He's over on Twitch, FullClip_FL. You can find our podcast, this show that you are either listening to or watching. You can continue to listen to it anywhere podcast services put podcasts out. Bam, you'll find us. Type in Gaming News Weekly. Type in GNW. Any of those things, you're going to get me. You're going to get Full Clip. You're going to get horny. And then
Now we have to have a disclaimer.
Yeah. I mean, they are, right? They're going to get... We should have a disclaimer, like, you will get horny. And you'll definitely get horny if you check out our TikTok, because that's where all the horny things happen. I just really like saying horny. It's such a fun thing to say. All right. I believe that's it. Time to get horny. We're out. See you next week.